Welcome, everybody. My name is Doug Little. Bienvenue tout le monde. Je m'appelle Douglas. We're here today with MaryPou. She's a very cool young artist from Quebec, the city of Quebec in Canada. We just met just literally a few minutes ago, and we've been chatting in French. So we were just curious to see if people wanted the webinar in French or in English. We can do either if you'd like. So maybe if people want to put in the chat, if they'd prefer to hear it in English or French, that would be great. I see that the room is beginning to fill up. So let us know. MaryPou already has a few friends talking about her. So that's great. So MaryPou is going to be giving us a presentation on her art. She does emotes for Twitch. Most of her customers are customers that are doing custom orders. She does art for all my stuff I wrote down in French, MaryPou, so now I have to translate it. So she does all her orders in for cups, t-shirts, bags, pillows, all that kind of stuff. All of her art fits right on that, and she is going to be explaining to us today how she works and how she goes on Twitch and everything she does for the art community. So, MaryPou, c'est à vous de parler.
Oui, allô tout le monde. Là, je vois qu'il y a plusieurs personnes qui disent qu'ils voudraient l'entendre en anglais, mais je sais qu'ils parlent français, ces gens-là. I know they're speaking French, but they want to test my English. So if they want me to speak English, I will speak English, but I don't mind. I just switch in French if I struggle too much. We can do that in English.
Yes,
so
yeah.
I can go ahead. So welcome everyone to the introduction to the world of streaming. Today, it's not about, I just want to make sure that everyone understands it's not about how to stream, because I'm not teaching you how to stream, but it's more about how streaming can be used and adapt for artists. Okay, it will be a general information. It will be general information, but if you want me to elaborate on something, just feel free to ask. I will answer every question. Okay, so here's my program. So I'll first tell you about my journey and a little bit about me. After that, I'll explain what's Twitch and what's streaming, why streaming is a good idea for artists. And after that, we'll go with what's an emote. I'll tell you how Twitch can generate incomes. And after that, I'll do some sketches for you. Are you okay with this? How many people do we have at the moment?
We have 17. Nous avons 17 personnes en ce moment.
All right. So let me begin by introducing myself to you. So I'm 29 years old. I'm from Quebec City, and I'm known as a French-Canadian streamer and an emote artist since 2019. Drawing has always been my main hobby for as long as I can remember. I was drawing traditional stuff, pen and paper, mangas. I really liked to draw mangas and animals when I was younger, and I really liked video games. And that's why I studied in 3D animation, and I got a diploma in 3D animation in 2012. But I see a question in the chat. Would you have any software suggestion for using a tablet showing the audience on screen for zero publishing? Showing the audience on screen? I would suggest you OBS. OBS, that is the main software you can use for streaming, and you can have only your display screen showing on it. I would use OBS, and you can just choose recording instead of start streaming, so it's the best for this. I like your accent. Yeah, thanks. So after I studied in 3D animation, actually that's where I learned to use Photoshop. That's where I got also my first graphic device. It was a bamboo Wacom, like this big, I think. It was a silver little device that I used for a year, and I finally upgraded it to a Wacom Intuos 3 that lasted forever. I swear I sold it last year, and it was still as brand new after 10 years. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's magic. I don't know, but Wacom is a really sturdy product. That's where I learned. So after I got my diploma, I wasn't hyped anymore about the video game industry because I had to move if I wanted to work in this. I was not standing out in the crowd of the other student. And after that, I just stopped doing hard for 7 years. Wacom is king, yes. And then I switched to massage therapy and I become a self-employed kinesiotherapist, which I still do. But the thing is when you like to do something, it always comes back to your mind. And one day I woke up and I was craving it. I was craving drawing. I wanted to draw. I had nothing to do it. And that's where I decided to gather all my money, all my Christmas money, and just buy my first pen display. And it changed everything. So do you have any question about my journey, how I got to do digital painting or thing like this, or I can just move forward? The same thing, 13 is one my friend got and I was very jealous. What are you doing outside of streaming? I'm a kinesiotherapist, so I'm doing a massage for people, but I do it very part-time with art. So does everyone in the chat, did you just push it? Yeah, I will tell you this on the next subject. What's that? What style you find most appealing as an artist? I really like people that do paintings that look like paintings, but on a digital device. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but people can recreate traditional look into digital device. And I think that's really cool and very impressive, impressive to me, because that's really far away from what I'm doing. A fan of that as well. Nice. So does everyone here knows what streaming is? I think yes, but maybe not. Where can we watch the recording? It's gonna be on YouTube, on the Wacom's YouTube.
Yep, and MaryPou, keep on going, because if you monitor the chat all the time, people will.
Okay, that's right.
It's better if you present.
Okay, all right. So live streaming. So I was asking if everyone knows what streaming is. So live streaming is when you broadcast what you're doing, so people can join a channel and interact with you, a little bit like we're doing right now. And you can decide to film yourself or not. It's preferable to do it because people will be attracted if they see you more than if they don't see you, and they have to see your canvas while you are working. When you stream, what you do is that you open yourself to a world where people can encourage what you're doing by subbing, tipping, and following. Of course, following is free. Everyone can follow you, but subbing and tipping is where people give you money because they like what you're doing and they want to encourage art. And of course, with doing that, it's gonna give you a lot of exposure to you and your art, because people will connect with the person you are and they will like more your art because of this. Before, I had the question earlier, I had streamed video games before. But when I got my first pen display, I decided that maybe streaming art would be a great idea, because you know, when you draw, you're all alone at home and you just draw your stuff. But when you do it while streaming, people can join, can talk to you, they can share ideas, they can help. People help me a lot with Photoshop every time I'm trying to do something. How can I do that? And people just answer me. They can share knowledge too. And all this interaction with people will build a community that share a passion and time together. What you need to stream is really simple. At first you need an idea. What do you want to offer to your viewership? How will you entertain them? Because people on Twitch are looking for entertainment. They want to look at you and have fun and hang out while still looking at something interesting. And for this, you will need a good PC, a microphone, a webcam that is optional, but it's preferable to have one, two screens because on one you have your software, and on the other one you have the broadcasting one. You will need, of course, a keyboard, mouse. You'll need a drawing device or something to draw on, because if you do it with your mouse, it's gonna look horrible. And you need a headset, and maybe you will want to add some more stuff, but at first you need camera, microphone, screens, and a good PC. That's about it. And so I think, sorry. So what's an emote? Because today my job as a Twitch emote artist is to create emote. And how I came to this is that one day I was live streaming, I was drawing birds for my mom. I was trying the painting style of drawing birds. And I had 7 viewers, and someone came by and said, hey, I like what you're doing. Can you make me emotes? And I looked at my chat and I was wondering, what's that? What's an emote? And the thing is, when you get affiliate on Twitch, you can give emoticon reward for your viewer that sub. So an emoticon is a tiny little icon that represents a character. It can be an animal, it can be the streamer, it can be a mascot, or just a word that express an emotion or an action. And emote are literally a language on Twitch, and they are used in a very positive and funny way. You can't have emotes that represent violent stuff, sexual stuff, or harassment or anything like this. It's used on the platform as a reward for those who sub, and to sub to a channel. The utility for a viewer is that they can use your emote all over the platform for a month to express themselves. And for the streamer, it's a way to brand your channel. So that's why people come to you and ask, hey, can you make me emotes of my cat? And you do several expressions of the cat in question, because the cat became a mascot of the channel. Is there any question on this about what's an emote, how you create them? I will talk about emotes and the creation after that, but if I have any question now, I can answer. So after that, I made it a job. Actually, I started creating emotes on Twitch, and at first I had 1 order, 2 orders, and it went a snowball. I have too much orders, so I have to go up with my price. Is there a limit on the emotes count? Yeah, there is a limit, because depending of if you are a partner or an affiliate on Twitch, you will have different numbers of emote. Yeah, I'm used to read the chat because I'm a streamer, that's why. So you can find a lot of emote all over the internet. You can find them on Fiverr, on Etsy. If you don't want to stream yourself making emote, you can just make emotes and put them on Etsy and Fiverr so people can buy it. The thing is, on those websites, you can sell them for maybe $5 or $10. I personally have an Etsy where I sell stuff, but it's still in progress. The thing is, when you buy stuff as a streamer on those websites, you most of the time find cheap stuff, and they are not exclusive. And that's where my part is important, because when you jump on the custom emote side, my side, it means that the emote is designed exactly how the customer wants it. And this is where it gets interesting, because people are ready to pay for custom stuff. It can go from $25 to $60 for one. I personally charge $45 per emotes tax in, because I have to pay taxes. And it takes me about 1 hour and a half to do. It's really important to set a price that represents the time you invest in it, because some artists won't recognize that what they are doing is great, and they will lower the price for all the market. And it's better for you to just put a good price and work for a great price. So depending how fast you work, it can become very lucrative, because the more you do in 2 hours, the more money you will make from it. But you have to know that when you stream it, you work slower, but you have to keep in mind that if you stream it, you can have possible tips. You can get subscription. You can also get sponsor, and yeah, you can make it a living if you find customer and if you are entertaining enough to attract people to you. After that, of course, you have to post it on Twitter and Instagram, and of course, TikTok. If you don't know TikTok as an artist, it's a really, really, really good way to get discovered and to sell what you're doing and to get known. I'm talking a lot about emote at the moment, but you can apply it for every form of art. If you're doing 3D, digital, portraits, avatar. If you do traditional, you can sell painting. You can apply it for everything. You can sell 3D models to print. So it's very versatile. And in fact, Twitch and broadcasting, what you're doing is just a way for people to connect with you on another level. It takes time and dedication, but I swear to you, it's worth it because all the time you invest will eventually comes back to you. So emotes. Emotes are simple, but full of challenge because when you look at an emote, it's a really simple icon. It's a simple drawing, but there's a lot of challenge into it because I was about to say parce que when creating emotes, you have to consider that it will be showing in chat in 28 by 28 pixel. And this is really small. So I personally like to create them in 500 by 500 pixels because it's big enough for me to work in details and in good resolution, but not enough for client to use it as a merch. Because, you know, when people buy me emote, I don't want them to be able to use it for a lot of stuff that I didn't work for. I don't know if you understand. If you work on a tiny little icon and the person use it as a logo is worth a lot. You know, you have to do a lot of research and stuff like this. So I want people to get what they pay for in term of it. So that's it about it. And the main challenging encounter you will meet when you create emote is that the size. The size is the main challenging encounter you'll meet because emotes are small, and the last thing you want when you create one is to see the streamer come close to their screen to understand what's the drawing. When a person does that, it means that your emote is a failure. It didn't work at all. So the thing is, you often sorry. The thing is, I often have to work with clients that want way too much detail in the square. And the more you add stuff, the more you have to sacrifice the clarity of the rest. So I installed a rule in the emote world, and it's that when you want an emote, you can only have two objects. So you have the main character, and you can have an additional item that is showing the emotion, an accessory or something like this. So you have two parts of the drawing, so the character and the accessories. Because if you don't do that, it will be very messy when it's small. A good example that I can give you, I think that you see my screen. Do you see my screen at the moment? Or did this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
We see your screen.
So yes. I can give you example like this. So you have the character that is a rat and the heart. The love emote is one of the most popular on Twitch. It's used to show love in the chat. So you also have the character here holding a gift. That's where people give gifts to people. It can be word, yes, but there's a rule for word also. I will just erase. I will erase one and I'll show you something for text. Sorry about this. So I erase this one. When I'm drawing sketches, I like to put my size. This is a 500 by 500 square, and I like to use like a 720 pixels brushes, sorry, and I use the hard round brushes, simple brushes that comes with Photoshop, and I drop the opacity to 28, around this 30. And the rules for text is that when you do a text, you want it to be readable when it's small. So the rules to be readable is that it have to take the tier of the space in the image. So you have here the raid one. A raid is when you raid a stream with your community. So you see it's taking the tier of the image. If you don't do that, it won't be clear when it's small. You can do it like this, diagonal. You can do it like this also. And the other rule is that you have 4 or 5 letter maximum. If you go over that, it won't be readable at all. And the other things that you have to consider when you create emote is that Twitch has a dark mode and a clear mode. And what happened with this is that if the viewer is using the dark mode, the emote will show on a black background. And if they're using a clear mode, they will drop the emote on the white background. By example, if you want an emote of your black cat, your cat is completely black, you want it black. If you make it pop on the dark background, it won't be black anymore, it will be invisible, and you don't want this. So instead of going to a black color, you will go into a clearer gray, so people understand that this cat is a black cat, but clear enough to see that it's showing in chat. Okay. Another rule, I installed rules for emotes for myself and for my client, because sometimes clients don't understand that there are constraints that you have to to respect, because if you go over this, your emote won't be showing well, and if it doesn't show well, it's your name that you're making on it. If the emote is not readable, people will just think that what you're doing is not clear enough for them to want this. So it's really important to think about it when you're creating emote.
Hey, MaryPou, we have a few questions if you like to take some.
Yeah, let's go. Yes.
Okay. Melanie is asking, first of all, is there a reason you use a Wacom display over other displays on the market?
Actually, Wacom is really good because the main thing that is game changing for me is that the pen is really precise on the screen. The feeling when you draw with a pen like this, that is very accurate and without any parallax, is that you feel like you're drawing on paper. Because most of the cheapest device I used, the cursor was not on the nib of the pen, and and it wasn't really exceptional to work with this. It works, but when you get to feel the Wacom, it's really different, really very paper-like, and that's why I'm working with a Wacom right now. Also, the size is bigger, and also this device is amazing. You can put a lot of shortcut raccourci, a lot of shortcut on it, and it replaced the keyboard, and it's more ergonomic to use this than the keyboard. So I'm still learning to use it, because it changed the workflow a lot, but it's very, very nice.
Nice, cool. And then we have another question in French coming from Raphael, but I'll translate it for. He's asking if you have to pay copyright fees for emotes that are coming from a franchise like Pokemon or Nintendo, or do you even use them?
I actually refuse to do them, because a lot of emote artists do a Pokemon emotes and Nintendo emotes, etc. They can do it, but you don't want to get caught, because if you get caught, it can cost a lot. So I just refuse to do that because anyway, I'm telling my client, why do you want to get a branding that is not even yours? Emotes are your branding. You want to have emotes that represent your channel, that represent what you are, that represent something that you own. So why would you want to have an emote that represents something that's not even yours? So I'm trying to work with people with this because I totally refuse to do copyrighted stuff because it's like selling derivated product, and I don't do that.
Okay, that's a good answer. Last question here on the question section is, why do you prefer to draw on Photoshop versus Illustrator?
Because I did not learn to use Illustrator. I think it's a good reason. I don't use Illustrator because Illustrator is a lot of, maybe I'm wrong because I'm not using it day-to-day life, but I think it's a lot of, you select an area and you apply color in the area, and then you can tweak it with the bevel, I think. I don't know how do you call it them, but it's when you have you have something like this and you can move this this little part here so you can adjust the shape. I don't use Illustrator because I don't like the workflow it gives me. I prefer just to draw like I would on paper.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thanks.
So that's about it for the challenges, because those are the main challenge. The other challenges would be the client itself, because sometimes the client is like, oh yeah, you won't see anything. I want it anyway. So that's where you set your boundaries. Sometimes I just refuse to do some order because I don't want to be associated with them. Bezier curve. Merci. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe order. Yeah, that's why. And that's about it for this. And after that, when you do emote, you have to dispose the shape in the good way. Personally, I like to avoid cropping the character. Sometimes you'll see emotes that crop the top of the head, so it gets a little a closer look on their face. Sometimes it's good to do that, but I prefer not to do it because sometimes you will difference. The difference between emotes are most of the time the hair and the accessories that are on the character, so I don't like to crop it. Also, I like the emote to look on this side because you have the chat on Twitch and you have the video that is going in. And I like the emote looking the side of the video. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I prefer them to look this way. And that's about it. I can draw emote now and I can answer questions, because the theory about this is if people have more questions about streaming, about emotes, now I have the time to answer to them.
Yeah, I have a question, since I just met you and I'm just kind of interested in what you do.
Yeah.
Take us through a typical, like a customer comes to you and orders something. How does that all work? I'm just trying to
maybe I can show my website and I can show the process when you want to order.
Sure.
Yeah. So my website is there. Okay. So yeah, my website here, and when someone wants to order, they will arrive on this page. They click on emotes, and then you have my emotes with the price it costs. And after that, they go to formula de commande, which is where you click. And then you have le formulaire de commande avec les délais de production. Donc, j'utilise beaucoup Trello pour mes listes. Je parle en français. Là. I use a lot of Trello list for my clients. So now you see what I'm doing at the moment, the client I have now, and all the client I did over the years. So I did about 1,000 emote for now. And you see the list. So now if someone orders, it's not a long waiting list, so it may be appealing for people. And then you just write what's your Twitch channel. You write your name, because I want to recognize if you write in my chat, on my Twitch chat, I will see your name. And if you order and you don't give me your name, I won't be able to just look at your channel, because sometimes looking at the channel will help me to create emotes. An adresse courriel, an email, because I want to be able to contact you if there is anything. All the things you have to know. It's taxing. You have to pay everything before the production, and you are responsible to verify your email. I will not run after a client if they just write to me and they don't give any news. If they don't give news, I just go to another client, because I've been there where I had to look for clients just to give me an answer back, and I'm not there anymore. So they are responsible to look if I answered, if I sent une facture en anglais.
A bill.
A bill,
Yeah.
yeah. Invoice was the word I was looking for. Thank you. So yeah. And so you have the PayPal, because all my facturation, if it's that a word, all my invoice are from PayPal. And then you have a description de la commande. So if I want emote, I click on this. I have an emote. If I want 2, 3, 4, 5 emotes, I can add them. And I had some stuff I wanted people to add. So the type of emote, the text color of the hair, high colors, expression, clothing. How do you want the character to be dressed in? So all I have to know, if you're not there during the production, I want you to put it there, because if you don't, I have questions during the production. I have to stop, write to you, etc., etc. So I want to avoid that. So this is for the emotes. If you want badge or merch or whatever, there will be other stuff to add on the order. So you have it there. And after that, you see how much is the order, and you prevent any robot to spam you, and you send it. So it's really complete as a formulaire.
I like it. That's great. Thanks for the description. I think that's helpful for people who are listening.
Yeah, and when you're doing it, you don't have this. So people write to you on Instagram, on Discord, on Facebook, on every platform, and you have to make sure that people will write to you at one place, because otherwise you will miss stuff. You will forget where people wrote you. It was this person writing me on Instagram, on our Facebook, and then you're searching for their name, but their name are not the same on every platform. So you have to get something like this if you want to save time. Yeah. So that's about it for this. And when I will just put it there 2 seconds. I will open an order for you, so you can so you just see how it comes to my email.
Hey, while you're doing that, MaryPou, somebody had a follow-up question.
Yes.
They were asking if during the process, how do you proceed? Do you like a few basic sketches to see where they want to go, or do you have carte blanche to do anything you'd like?
Sometimes they join a picture for me to just inspire myself, or existing emotes that they want me to recreate. So if the person wants a popcorn emote, this is for the drama actually. If they want a popcorn emote, but they want it as a beaver instead of a cat, they will send me an emote of a cat like this and say, hey, I want this, but my beaver instead. So I know exactly what they want as an emote, and I can recreate something from this. But if they're not clear, actually I do sketches and I validate them with them before I do the clean version and the final version, because you know how it works. You do the sketches, and after that, they say it's okay, and then you do the final version, and they want you to make a lot of change, and it's too late to make them before. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes it's too late to make some change, or it will occasion more work before they didn't tell you before. So I like to validate with them step by step, and that's why I like to do it on live, because every order I get, I do them live, and client can't be there when I'm doing it, so they can intervene right away when there's something they don't like. If I have a question, or yeah, you can make it like this instead, or I would do the closed eyes instead of open, or they can have a little touch during the process instead of emailing all the time. I'm trying to see some question. The customer provides as much information as they can. Yeah, they have to, because if they don't, I have to. I say to people, you have to give me enough information so I can do exactly what you want without you being there. Once you want a job to be done good, you have to give a lot of details so the person understands what you want. Sometimes people arrive with a carte blanche, and I give them something and they say, that's not what I wanted, but you didn't tell me what you wanted. You said carte blanche. So it might happen. That's why now carte blanche, I don't take them, because I end up spending more time on this, because people just don't know what they want. So I would avoid it. I would avoid the carte blanche, except if I know the streamer well, because when you know your customer, you're most likely to do something that they will like, and that will fit with them. Yeah. So maybe I can now do some sketches. I don't know if you have any question about emotes, about what I use. Actually, when I do emote, I like to, I don't know, maybe I should do if I do a heart emote, I'll do a heart emote, because it's the one of the most common and simple to do, actually, because the heart shape is really simple. And so I don't know what's the character. Maybe the character can be me for today. So let's say I draw an emote that it's me holding a Wacom and drawing on a Wacom, okay? So it will be a great thematic. So you said the Wacom can be like this. So it's a tablet like this. I know the Wacom is not standing like this normally, but on an emote, you can do anything you want. So that's it. And then you have the character here. I like to draw a weird shape at the beginning, so I can place my element. And now that I have the tablet and I have the character, I have to put the pen. And put the pen here wouldn't be a great idea, because it will overlap with the body of the character. I would prefer to put it there. It's not really ergonomic to hold the pen like this, but for the emote, it's best to just put it like this, so the pen will be in evidence on the emote with all this free space. When this is done, I know it's look like nothing, but you have to, I like to just make a little bit less, more opacity on this. And then I draw my shape. You can do kawaii stuff. Kawaii stuff is a lot more popular on Twitch than my style. But the thing is, kawaii stuff is girls like kawaii stuff and boys a little bit less. And Twitch streamers are mostly guys. So my style is really appropriate for them. I have more male than female client because of that. The style will influencer. Le style va beaucoup influencer quel genre de clients vous allez avoir pour les émoticônes. So maybe, so I was saying I was drawing my stuff, right? So you put some cheeks in, you put some eyes. I don't want to be cross-eyed. And I'm looking to the Wacom. So, and when you do emote, you want them to look a little bit cute, and I don't want to say stupid, but I like them to look a little bit derpy because it's funnier. Oops. When I'm sketching, it's really messy. And say that the character is smiling because it's happy to use a good tablet. And my as a streamer, I have my signature outfit. Something I was I was wearing a lot when I began streaming. It was a turtleneck, red turtleneck. You see it there. So those are my emote. So I have a turtleneck. So when I create emote, I want to always start from the same character and make them look alike, because I don't want to, if I do emotes for someone, I don't want this to look like I put two artists together or two characters together. I want them to be the same. Oh, there's a question for Wacom. That's funny.
Yeah, what was the question?
The question was, I have a question for Wacom. How do you see folks who streams arts using your products? Do you feel proud? Do you understand the game, or is it your target market? I don't know. It's in the chat, actually. It's not.
Yeah, I think I answered that. I think I answered them already. Yeah, I saw that question.
Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry,
no, it's fine. I said that we respect all artists and Twitch included. So, Wacom deals with all types of artists and we love it. So this is something that's kind of more modern, if you will, this new Twitch element. And yeah, we love it.
So I don't have any hair, but I can put some hair. So you see where I'm going with this? You see, it's really simple to do. Actually, you have the sketch, and when you have the sketching, from this point, I could tell I could ask the person, hey, do you like it? Can I do it? Can I do the final version now? Because they know the final version won't look like this. And when you, oops, I'm not on the good layers. Common problem in the digital art world. So I just put it back there. Okay, so when it's done, I like to just put it really, really clear. I put my opacity to the maximum. I had some, I can't because I have the share screen option. So sorry about this. So I like to put the smoothing to 40, something like this when I do the outlines, because it helps me to get the smooth lines and even lines. And again, I'm not on the good layer. Good. And then you do your lines and you Control Z a lot because you want your line to be perfect as the first strike. And when you're streaming, you can talk about a lot of stuff, even not related to art. And that's the fun part, because you can learn stuff from other culture, because, I'm a French Canadian from Quebec, but there's a lot of French people coming into my stream and saying, hey, in my country, it's not working like this. We have to do this. During COVID also, it was really a big deal to have streamers out there just to hang out, because during the pandemic, it wasn't allowed to hang out with people, though, so it helps a lot.
Yeah, I imagine your business actually might have gone up during COVID, right?
Yeah, actually, when the government gave us like financial help if you lose your job during the pandemic, I didn't have to use this help because I was able to just survive with emotes and streaming. So it was really good to do it, and that's from there that I saw the potential, and I was okay, I can really make it a job actually, because when I put time into it, because at first when you do streaming, you do it as a hobby, you do it when you can, so you're not consistent, you're not really putting effort into it, you're just doing it when it's okay for you. And when you see the potential and you see that people are interested in what you're doing, you will want to put time, effort, and become consistent, because that's the la constance. C'est vraiment ce qui est important. This is what will make the difference, because people will know that you'll be back. They will know that you'll be there on Monday, on Tuesday, and on Saturday. I'm sad. I'm sad we can't clip that. Yeah, you can't. So when I say I don't want to crop anything of the character, for me it's really important. I don't like when emotes are like this, so I will just adjust the drawing to fit the square more. And at the end, we can work on the different shape too. Sometimes people will ask you some emotes that you don't want to do. One day, someone wanted to do emotes that are related with robotics, and I'm not really into robotic stuff because I think it's really hard to draw on small scales images, because all the details you can add on something robotic, you won't see it as an emote. So it's really hard to pick what details to put on it or not, because sometimes you decide to put something and it was a bad idea. You can make some details in the clothing. So you see, it's really simple to do the shape for an emote. It's not complicated to do if you know how to draw. And even the hands, I know the hands are a really big struggle for most of us. It's a struggle for me.
Hey, MaryPou, your screen sharing might not be on. None of us are seeing actually what you're doing artistically.
You don't see what I'm doing?
Nope, it stopped for some reason.
Is it okay right now? What was it off all this time?
Just for a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't off the entire time, but it froze for a while.
Okay, but now is it okay? It's back? Okay. Sorry about this. I didn't know. I think it's because I couldn't click on a tool because it was full screen, and maybe I click on something.
Yeah, I think you're back.
I'm back. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, hands are a little struggle in the artistic world, but the good thing with emotes is that the hands are really simple most of the time. Of course, now I'm doing it really fast. I'm wondering if people in the chat were interested into the streaming part, because I know some people reached me outside of this webinar to ask me if I would talk about streaming a lot. But I don't know if people are interested into making emotes or just curious about the streaming world.
Well, I think both go hand in hand. So I think most of the people tuning in are interested in both, really.
So my pen is really not in a good shape right now. I like to do it all over again when I'm not happy with something. For hands, I take photo on my own in the boat. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. I like to draw when I draw hands or any shape actually. I like to just put my fingers like this, not like this because it's not the good way to do it. But let's say we have those fingers and this, I like to just remove the inside. So now I have my fingers that are showing that is not too bad. Another finger here. So actually it takes me a lot of time making emote because I struggle making hands. That's why it takes me a little bit of time making them. And sometimes that when you struggle a lot on details, you can rely on the fact that it won't be showing a lot. The main idea is the drawing to be clear, that they understand the main idea. Because even if I do this little part here of the finger under the pen, they won't really see it. And now what I see is that the hand is really not in the good, at the good place. I should put it like this, maybe. And the pen is too long. And another thing that I do when I draw emote, you see, I do a lot of dark, thick lines. I do that not because it's looking good. It's because when it's small picture, when you go back, what you see is the separation into between the two elements. I did that too on the popcorn and the cat emote. You see the lines that are in the shape are smaller than the other lines. So it gives me, not it gives me, but ça me permet en fait de détacher les deux éléments. What's NFT? What's
I have
that?
no idea either. Jay said, what have you ever tried making NFTs? And I've never heard of that either. So
I don't know what that is.
he just put it in Wikipedia.
Non-fungible token. I'm not sure I understand what that is.
Yeah, me neither. So
I don't do that. I just answer by saying I don't do that. I don't know what that is. But people ask me to do icon for video games. You know, sometimes you have a object when people can loot object on a video games. They ask me if I wanted to do little icon for stuff in video game. I'm not really into that kind of project because it takes too long. But it's really nice because you can not only make emotes, you can do a lot of other stuff if you want to. I decided to make emotes because it's really it's quick to do. When I don't know about other artists out there, but when a project is too long, I kind of lose interest in it. So I like that all the projects that I do are really quick to do, and I can move on to another project really fast. This is not working. I would normally go look for a reference, but now I can't because all my screen are taken. But yeah, there's a hand and a tablet like this. So I put really thick lines like this just to make it pop a little bit. I have the other arm here.
So I was on your site earlier and you said, I think in 2009, using a Wacom for the first time, it changed your life. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's when I got my first pen display. That because when you draw on something on a device that has no screen, the feeling is really different. It's not as accurate as having the screen in front of you and drawing like you're drawing on a piece of paper. I don't know I don't know how to explain the difference, but when you draw on something that is a display, your pen and your line will be aligned with what you saw. But when you are using a device without a screen, when you do your line, there's a transfer of information that has to be done so you understand what your hands will be showing on the screen, because it's not translated on the same way than just on paper like this. But I don't know how to put word on it because it's really like a feeling. But yeah, that's where, because I didn't really like to draw digital before I had a pen display, because actually my brain couldn't figure out how to do the lines correctly. And when I got this, painting has been funnier because it just it's so much like traditional, but in a better way, because you can use Control Z and undo, redo, transform. You can use all the tools and still feel like you're drawing on something. So yeah, and all this with the streaming addition, it changed everything, because I thought I would be doing kinesiotherapy and massage therapy for all my life, and now I can join my passion and make money of it and live from it, in addition to my massage therapy and other jobs. So yeah, it changed my life, because now I feel like I'm on my X, and when I'm working, I'm not feeling I'm doing something that I don't want to do. And I think that when you work, it's really important to love what you're doing, because most of the time in your life, you will do stuff. If you don't like your job, you can tell that most of your life you will do things that you don't like. And it's not how I want to live my life. So yeah, it changed my life for this, because it gives me the opportunity to just draw, be recognized for this, being I'm now a name in Quebec for emotes, so people know me for what I'm doing, and people want my stuff because it's me. So it changed my life a lot, the streaming and everything. Yeah.
What qualities do you have to be a streamer? Somebody's asking in the chat.
Yeah, to be a streamer, you have to be. Most of the streamers are introverted.
Introverted. Yep.
Yeah, most of them are introverted in real life, but when they come to stream, since they don't see who they're talking to, the shyness disappear. So I don't think that you need to be a really social person at the beginning, but it will help a lot with your social skills as when you do it. I couldn't, what I'm doing right now with you people listening to me, I couldn't have done it without streaming before, because I was too shy. My sister couldn't see what I was drawing without me telling him, go away or I won't continue. So when you're a streamer, I think that you have to be entertaining. That's the main point. You have to be funny, you have to be nice to be around, you have to have stuff to do, because at the beginning people won't watch you unless you have stuff to think to talk about. if I come to your stream and you're not talking, even if you're alone, because at the beginning it's hard because you're alone and you're talking alone, but you're talking alone. So when people come in, you're saying stuff that they think it's interesting, so they will stay. If you're not talking alone, they just say, oh, he says nothing, and they just go away. So you have to have the skills to create conversation with nothing. You have to be able to do that. You have to see Twitch as a business. I know a lot of people do Twitch as a hobby, but to make it work, to acquire a good viewer base, you have to see it as a job and as a business. You want to make grow to make growth. So who are your potential viewer? What do you want to offer to your viewer? What can you do to improve something that you don't like? But yeah, you have to be c'est un bon système D, là. You have to be débrouillard.
Yeah, somebody that can get out of tight spaces, and yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you have to be creative in some way.
A self-starter is probably the best word for débrouillard. Yep.
Yeah, and you have to be able to learn stuff and adapt stuff, and you have to be able to react to people also, because Twitch is nice. You can talk to nice people, but some people will come in sometime just to insult you and tell you that what you're doing is not nice. There are people like this, so you have to be able to handle this. I feel sorry for asking English at first. Non, c'est correct. Je te déteste juste un petit peu. Non, mais you have to have a lot of quality, but it's nothing that you can't develop with time. At the beginning, my stream was not in good quality. I was not answering to people in chat because one of the challenge is that you have to draw. You have to do what you have to do, and you have to answer the chat. When I'm streaming, I see a sentence, I answer right away, and I draw so I don't get late in the comments. So at the beginning, I wasn't reading the chat at all because I wasn't able to focus on two things. Looks like it to be a small television show just by yourself. Yeah, I compare it a lot with having your own radio show, but people can see you. So what you're saying is really important. What you're doing is really important, but who you are is the main starting point. Because if you're not nice to be around, people won't be appealed to stay with you and just want to hang out.
So what advice do you have for people that are looking into starting a Twitch channel, and how do you go about promoting yourself?
So at first, I know a lot of people like to create your Twitch channel and go on other stream to say, hey, I'm streaming too, come to see my channel. Don't do that. It's really bad. Streamers don't like self-promotion in their chat. So if you are starting your Twitch, what I suggest is that you create a TikTok account, because Twitch don't offer a lot of discoverability. I hate that word. Twitch is really, if you have viewer, you'll get viewer, but if you don't, you end up in the dark spaces of Twitch. So I suggest that you put your effort all over other platforms. On Instagram and TikTok is the best way to get views from random people, but the algorithm is good enough to bring people that have interest in what you're doing. So I don't know about you people, but on TikTok, I have mostly small businesses, fitness stuff, and art tutorials. So that's what my algorithm is. And probably if I were doing TikTok too, I would attract those kind of people, and then attract them on my Twitch. You can do your self-promotion on this. Of course, Instagram is a great way too. You have to be active on social media. Facebook can be nice too, but I think that Facebook is getting a little bit forgotten Facebook is not used a lot anymore. I feel that Facebook is not used a lot anymore, but Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. I don't know if there are French people on the webinar at the moment, but Twitter is really, really popular in Europe. So Twitter is not used a lot in Quebec. We try to use it, but there are not a lot of the population using it. So sometimes I post on Twitter, I have nothing reacting. I have no people reacting to them. But if you want to reach client, you have to post on Twitter, because what is great with Emote is that even if you are on the other side of the planet, you can still sell what you're doing to someone that wants to buy it. So the more you post everywhere, the most you get you get feedback from it. And also what you have to do is you have to participate on Twitch. You can't just be streaming and expecting people to see you. You have to do some PR. You go on Twitch channel that you like, you talk in the chat, you participate. And then one day someone will come into your chat. Hey, you're the people I see in this person chat. You say hey, and people will already know you from somewhere. So PR is really important too.
Great. So this is fantastic. This has been great.
Yeah, it's been an hour already.
Yeah. So what do you have planned for next week? I understand we're having you on again next week. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, exactly. And next week, what I'm planning, I closed it. So next week I'm doing emotes, but from scratch to final. So we'll do shading, we will do lining, we will do sketching, and we will do an emote from the start to the end. It probably will take an hour because it takes me this time to make an emote. So I will just show how I'm making them, shading tips, color tips, and stuff like this.
Okay, great. And I think that's Thursday of next week, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Same hour.
So the 21st at noon Pacific.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much, MaryPou. This has been a great session, and we thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Et c'était bien de faire votre connaissance, c'est bien.
Oui, c'est un peu stressant.
All right. Okay. Thank you, MaryPou. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Again, you can catch MaryPou on YouTube later on. It'll be recorded and placed on YouTube, and then we'll see you next week. On se verra la semaine prochaine.
Oui, exactement.
Okay. All right.
Super.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.